Alrighty, today let's talk about how to sing for beginners. Now, I was once a total beginner. I couldn't sing to save my life. I was so bad. If you want to hear my transformation, it's on my website and it's on the channel if you want to check that out. But I'm going to give you a high-level overview of what I wish that I had when I was first starting, because it would have saved me so much puberty. It would have saved me so much time. And just to give you a little bit of context on the fact that this works, I have since I learned to sing, transformed my voice, became a pro singer, and then eventually found myself into vocal coaching and became a vocal coach that I've been doing for years now. Since then, I have worked with a sample size of literally thousands of singers, upcoming singers, many that were complete beginners in over 100 countries. So pretty large sample size. And the order that I'm going to give you, and this kind of like high level overview that I'm going to give you, has worked so well, has worked so well for them. And we've also seen people that literally were like tone deaf, couldn't sing, now become singers and release albums to Spotify and literally completely change their entire life trajectory to now wanting to be like full-time singers and like on the path to do it. It's fantastic. All right, so let's talk about this kind of high-level overview. So the method that I put together after learning from some of the best coaches, taking every program course I could find, watching every YouTube video I could find, going on a 14-year journey to learn myself, I put together an 8-step method, and I call it like the GRATE method, GR8, and it goes over the 8 components that make up an amazing voice. We start with breathing, then we go to pitch accuracy, then vocal tone. Then after that, we expand your range. Then we connect your range. If you've ever heard of, chest voice, mixed voice, head voice, if you've ever heard of those terms, it's getting rid of those terms and just connecting your entire voice so you have one voice. Then we work on adding volume dynamics throughout your connected range. Okay, so learning how to control your voice. Then having agility, so singing crazy riffs and runs throughout your range. Then finally learning to emotionally connect and designing your unique style. And when you think about style, think about like Billie Eilish, right? Just a really unique voice. So it's crafting your own version of that, where people hear your voice and it's like, oh my gosh, that's you. And I love it, right? So that's the high-level overview of what makes up an amazing voice and what's going to take you from being a beginner to being an expert, being a pro, right? When you get good at all those 8 things. The order is so important, right? That's what I realized. Like, you got to start with breathing, then go to pitch, then go to tone. In fact, the first 3, breathing, pitch, tone, those are the most important, okay? That is your foundation. Everything else builds upon that. So the kind of my advice to you as a beginner is you've got to tackle those 3 things and do them in isolation. So, or I guess also what I call isolate the variables. So when you're working on breathing, that's what you're working on. Lock it in. Build the habit. It doesn't have to take you long at all. In the course that I have, you should be able to have that in 2 hours, literally. And then it's just about remembering to implement the techniques. Pitch, that can take slightly longer, but when you utilize technology, when you couple technology with certain scales and melodies, and the technology that I've partnered with is where you can literally see like your pitch in real time on your phone in relation to perfect pitch as you're going through the exercises and the scales, and that really helps train your mind to understand what is singing on pitch. And when you get that instant feedback, it speeds it up like crazy. The third thing is tone, and really your best tone is going to be when you are relaxed and open in the throat and in the mouth, and then you balance your mouth to nasal resonance. So you have a 50-50 balance between mouth and nasal resonance throughout all of your vowels and all of your words, all throughout your range as well, okay? When you can do those three things, you have what I would consider a minimum viable voice. And at that point, you can write hit songs. The beautiful thing, and this is my encouragement to you as a beginner, if your goal is to have a career in music, this is a beautiful time because you don't have to be Pavarotti. You don't have to have this insane voice. You don't have to spend decades on your voice to have a career if you want to do more contemporary, being on like Spotify's today's hits type of music that you want to create. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying, right? You don't have to spend years and years and years. Like we could get you there. I mean, I've seen it happen in 3 months, that minimum viable voice. When people are isolating variables and doing it in the order that they need to do it and doing the exercises that, again, isolate the variables so that the brain can focus on one thing at a time and doesn't become overwhelmed. Because the other thing I'll tell you, I'm throwing a lot at you, but what you have to realize as a beginner is that you're just trying to create new neural pathways. You're trying to build new habits. You're trying to connect your mind to your vocal cords. And that can be quick. Like, it can take longer for others, but for some, like especially those that are like really open to learning quickly, come in with the right headspace and, you know, use technology along with the best exercises and techniques and the scales. And I'm not trying to plug my course by any means. Go find whatever works for you, but that'll definitely get you learning quickly if that's something that you want to do. Just because it's like, man, it works. Like I've just seen it work, right? But of course, I mean, do whatever you want. This isn't a sales pitch for my course by any means. Find whatever's going to work for you. But the idea is the same, of that, you know, you want to use every tool that you can. You want to get every advantage that you can using tech. Like any kind of advantage that you can have, you want as a beginner, because you want to speed up the process, right? Like you want to get to your dream as quickly as possible. You don't want to just sit around for a decade trying to learn this. So anyway, focus on those three things as a beginner. Breathing, develop a strong mind to vocal cord connection, work on your pitch, and then design a tone that sounds nice, that you like, and that other people like. If you can do those three things, you have a minimum viable voice, and at that point you can start achieving your dreams. You can really start making music. You can start writing songs, and people could like it, right? Once you get that, you know, you're at a decent level, then let's work on those other things, right? Then let's add in those other components that's going to make you a master. And then you just keep training them, keep training them, keep training them, and you keep getting better and better and better and better and better and better. But the first goal as a beginner are the three things, the trifecta, okay? Breathing, pitch, and designing a tone that sounds good. Those three things. Do that first, and then you can start, you know, actually getting momentum. People will say you sound good. You can start posting on social media. You can start making music. And then once you've hit that milestone, then add on everything else. Let's get you singing crazy riffs and runs. Let's get you having amazing vocal dynamics, messa di voce, right? Connect your range, get you singing crazy high notes with your mixed voice, expanding your range. We can do all that, right? But first three, lock that in as a beginner. Hope this helps.